Call the meeting to the order for the Richland County Natural Resources Standing Committee, Monday, April 6th at 9:30 PM. Sorry, 9:30 AM. I want to be here at 9:30 PM. All right. So if you could do the roll call.
Harrow. Schoonover.
Here.
McKee.
Here.
Hendricks. Here. Nolan. Harry.
Here.
Fleming.
Here,
You have 5 for Mayor.
thank you. So if you can verify that we have are in compliance with the open meetings law.
We are, the meeting has been properly noticed.
And then I'm just looking for a motion to approve the agenda unless anyone has any corrections to that.
I'll make that motion.
Okay. Actually, Rod Perry had his hand up first, so I'll have him the motion and you can have the second.
Okay.
So that'd be Richard McKee for the second.
We won't fight over it. Yeah.
Okay, so then we could just vote to approve the agenda. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? All right, so for the approval of the minutes from the March 2nd meeting, they were posted. Any corrections that, yep.
I was reading the minutes last night and it says I left the meeting early and I don't remember doing that. Did I?
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
You went to get something else. I don't remember what it was.
I wasn't at the last meeting, so I.
When you get old. Okay, I'll accept that.
Okay. All right, so if there are no other questions or corrections, looking for an approval to approve the minutes from the March 2nd, or a motion. Richard McKee is the first for the motion. Do I need a second? Randy Schoonover seconds. We'll vote then to approve the minutes. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? So the minutes are approved from the last meeting. Right now, we have public comment. Is there anyone here that would like to address the committee? Anyone online? Just looking for public comment. Okay, hearing none, proceed. We have some zoning petitions to do today. So if we'll just start out with the first one, petition A. Like to give us the background on that?
So petition A should be for Eagle Township. They are splitting off 2 parcels of the existing farm and selling to family members, I believe. There is a plat of survey in here. Both parcels are over 10 acres, so they don't require a certified survey. So we're going from ag forest to ag residential for those 2 parcels.
Okay. Are the families here? Okay. All right. So if we could get a motion so we can get it on the floor for discussion. Motion by Schoonover, second by Perry. All those in favor, say aye.
No,
I'm sorry.
you do that afterwards. You just approve the.
Oh, okay, yes, I'm sorry. I'm rusty at this. Okay, I just was thinking we had to do that to get it on the motion to get it. We just have to have the motion.
Okay,
We vote at the end, right?
so you can ask if they have. any
Yep, so if there's any discussion or any questions for the family there sitting behind me. You have a question?
Is there gonna be a house built? Is that?
The existing house is up already,
Yes.
everything, two acres long, it's kept the same, the farmland.
Yeah, because
Nothing
you
changes how it's.
live in the dark sky area and I'm always worried when people build that they're gonna have lights all over, so. I was looking at the location.
So there's no housing going to be put on the property. And the reason for the rezoning then?
We're selling those parcels to our children and their houses on older folks.
They're already there. Okay, you're just selling to family members. Okay. Yeah. So anyone else have any other questions? So we have a motion on the floor. Is everyone ready to vote then? No questions? Sorry? No, okay. All right, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Yeah, we don't have any board members online, correct? Okay. All right. thank you. If we can go on to the next one then, number, E.
Yep, so B is in Richwood Township. Similar situation, an existing large farm. Except this one, they are actually looking to build a new house. So there is a plat of survey again, it's 10.54 acres. So over that, requirement for a survey. Splitting off and building a new house for the son. I was out on site for the soil test already, so we've got the sanitary figured out. And the placement of that kind of helped figure out what the parcel was gonna look like, so.
And has the certified survey been done?
It's a plat of survey, so
Plat, okay.
yes, yep, the plat is complete.
That's complete, okay. All right, if we can get that on the floor for discussion. Got a motion to put the petition on the floor, by McKee, I'm sorry, and second by Perry. Any discussion there, any questions? What's that? I'm sorry. I'm speaking. Any discussion or questions?
They here for that petition? There you go.
There, the family, okay.
So when they come in, are you making sure they get the information about the dark sky, the brochure and stuff?
Yeah,
They get that, okay, because I'm supposed to make sure.
Yeah.
Last meeting, I'm getting it.
okay, yeah.
Thanks.
All right, so we're ready for a vote then? Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay. Thank you for coming. All right,
You stay or you don't have to stay, it's up to you guys.
you're welcome to stay here. All right, C.
C is Eagle Township. This is two parcels that are currently illegal non-conforming. I don't know the background on when they were split and not rezoned. But they came to us to build a new house on the south parcel. And both parcels are illegal non-conforming, so getting them into compliance as ag residential, and then they need to build a house on the southern parcel.
Okay, so for today, it's just getting them into compliance, nothing to do about building or anything at that point. Okay. All right, gonna get a motion for that one? McKee, second by Schoonover. Any discussion or questions? Family here for that one? Okay. Over there, if anyone has any questions? No. All right, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, thank you. Thank you. All right, looks like the next one is a conditional use permit. So you can do D.
Yep, so I don't think they are here for this one.
And Floyd's on the,
Oh, okay. Yep. So this is Buena Vista Township. If you guys know the home that exploded down on Needle Lane, they're basically looking to just replace and rebuild as things were. But now to do that is outside of our ordinance. So the conditional use is to place a mobile home on that parcel. It's a residential zone parcel, which does not allow mobile homes without a conditional use. And they'll also be going to Board of Adjustments on Thursday for that being a second residence on the home. So they're rebuilding the home that was destroyed, but also looking to replace this mobile home that was already on the property, got some damage. The daughter may live there, it may be a backup, I don't know that that's been fully decided yet. That's. the
Yeah,
plan.
and prior they didn't need a conditional use permit, but because there's a change, now we need to
Yep.
get the conditional use permit.
and they went to the town board, so
Yep, under township.
Approved by Town of Buena Vista.
as far as I know, right, Floyd?
That is correct.
Thank you.
Okay, so if I could get a motion to get this on the floor for discussion and vote. Motion by Perry, second by Hendricks. All those in, okay, sorry, discussion? Anybody have any questions? Do you have anything further to add, Floyd?
No, it's just they're trying to get it back as is prior to the home exploding.
Ready for a vote then? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? All right, that passes. We'll go on to the next one, which is also a conditional use permit.
And that one is actually postponed until next meeting.
Okay,
She called after the notice went out. She's also going to need variance. And the township had only approved the CUP and not the variance
Gotcha.
portion. So we're gonna
Okay.
wait, do it all next month.
right. All right, then we'll go on to F. That's a rezone.
So the last two are Ithaca Township. So we're just kind of doing the pass through on those. The township has already passed it and done their ordinance, and then we do the resolution that will go to county board. So this is going from ag to residential, 2.32 acres. There was a survey completed on this one by Todd Rumler.
Your motion? Motion by Schoonover, second by McKee. Any discussion or questions on this one?
Just a statement that to the audience, if it seems like this is all cut and dried, just because our staff did the work ahead of time and it's all set, but it's a formality.
Yes. Yep, yeah, they make sure everything is the way it should be. Obviously, we ask questions if there's something that we're concerned about or have questions. But like he said, they do a very good detailed job of getting all of that taken care of. And if things are just not quite right, then they'll get postponed to another meeting. So thank you for the great job that you guys do. Okay, so if we could have a motion then to vote. We did have a motion, right? Schoonover and McKee. Right, so we're ready to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, so that one passes. We are to the last rezone then.
And again, another Ithaca, so they have already completed their ordinance. We have the resolution here to send on to county board. It's going from ag to residential, 4.97 acres to
And
rezone.
that's the one that's on the county line.
Yes.
It's a little more complicated.
Yeah,
I
so
think we're
there's
involved in that one.
some in Richland County and some in Sauk County, so we're handling our portion of the farm and they will handle Sauk County portion.
Need a motion for that one. Motion by Perry, second by Hendricks. Any discussion or questions on this one? And is this family here? Sorry,
The surveyor.
you're just representing. All right, we're ready to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? That one passes as well. So on to the reports. First, we have the zoning administrator report and departmental activities.
So numbers for the year, we've already got 28 land use permits and 13 sanitary. We've had a lot of discussions and emails with people about building new houses, so there's still a lot of that going on. Been out on soil tests already, a few, so. The sanitary, pumping reports for this year are being stuffed right now. They will be going out in the mail this week. So anybody that's due for their annual pumping or 3-year pumping for septic system for 26 will be receiving that soon. And Noel sent out the past due from 2025, probably about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I checked the list this morning. We have gotten some response from it. Some people are turning them in, but we still have about 160 systems that are not reported from last year. So we'll be working to track those down. In the turnover and not really having a sanitarian, I have some catch up to do on past due systems prior to 25. Because there wasn't really anything in place for a couple of years there to stay on those. So I know that there are several systems. I don't know exactly how many, but I'd guess probably 200 or 300 that are past due by more than
For
a couple of
installation.
years for inspection.
Inspection.
Yeah. So they haven't turned in their pumping reports that they're supposed to do every 3 years. So I'll be sending out notices on those as soon as I can get through that list and Trying to
in the
back.
years past, when Mr. Bindle was here, they did do some citations.
Okay,
So we gotta figure out, get to that point, what we need to do,
right.
but we wanna do this first step.
We have to send out an initial notice before we can go
Right.
the citation route. So if they haven't heard anything about it in a couple of years, I want to at least send that first
Give
notice.
them the chance to
Yeah.
get it up to date.
And I will say, I've got great staff to do this part of things, I'm, both. And, Noelle is too, trying to get caught up, but, I've almost got all of the sanitary ones that are supposed to be inspected in 26, the 3-year, almost all of them into the permit system. I've got about 250 left to put in out of, those are almost 1,400 of them. 13 something, and so I'm getting close, but it's, this time of year, it's hard to sit down and work on it. Our next goal then is, when we get done with these, and then once, if we have a couple, slow day, I'll have her do what she did this year, which is do ones for pull the list for 2027, have it in there so that we can slowly work on it to get those in, so we're not like rushed getting those in.
Yeah, kind of always playing catch up.
Yeah. So it's gonna take us a while to get, when you had almost 4,000 to put in. Takes a while. The other thing under zoning, it's a report kind of thing. This is Natalie Straight. She works for Southwest Regional. And as most of you know, we're updating the farmland preservation plan. And so we've been working with Natalie. And one of the first things we did was she went to the Collins Association meeting. That was March 23rd. And she gave me a little presentation. So she's going to talk about what the steps are, a little bit more, what's going to happen. And then I did put a copy of her presentation in the administrative folder.
Okay.
So you guys want to look at it. So you get some more background information, and the new people, when they come in, that's what I'll tell them. We're hoping in May or June, we talked about going to
The next time,
the,
end of May.
yeah, and then what the county, you said well, we'll start with this, then we'll go to the county board. Probably
To give a presentation.
on what's going on, and next meeting, we're probably gonna have, I'll have on the agenda, Natalie will probably come back, we're gonna talk about the goals, set aside some goals to put in, make sure,
Great, thank you.
so I'll let Natalie.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna kind of go over the finer or the high level points of what I covered at the town's meeting, just to kind of make you all aware of what we're working on. And then, as Kathy mentioned, plan to be back here for the next meeting to get some feedback on goals for the next plan. So the key thing here is that Richland County has a farmland preservation plan that was adopted in 2016. Those are required by Department of Agriculture to be updated every 10 years. And so in order to be in compliance with DACCAP, we need to have that plan submitted and approved by them by the end of this year, so December 31st of 2016. It's important to note that it doesn't need to be adopted by the county by the end of the year. So that will likely happen, January, February, somewhere around there of 27 for the county, but it needs to be approved by DACCAP by that time. So just an overview on farmland preservation. So the farmland preservation plan itself is intended to establish a vision for local agricultural preservation, to protect farmland for the future, and to help counties and towns be eligible to participate in other parts of the farmland preservation program, which includes the farmland preservation zoning for county zoned areas, and then agricultural enterprise areas for towns that do not have county zoning. And then it's important to note that the farmland preservation plan itself is not doesn't create the zoning, is not zoning, but it's sort of allowing the zoning to happen. And then it creates the sort of opportunity to be eligible for the farmland preservation tax credit. But it's like, on its own, the plan is to sort of establish the criteria for that, to like show the information side of it, but isn't doing that in and of itself. So one of our goals with the farmland preservation plan is going to be sort of maximize the area of the county that's eligible for farmland preservation and those tax credits. And then overall, to use the plan to support quality of life for farmers and other Richland County residents. So this new plan, the 2026 plan, will be similar in some ways to the 2016 plan. The 2016 plan focused a lot on land use and zoning, so a lot of that has sort of been covered. And the 2026 plan will really kind of have a lot of information on the why agriculture is important, all the different components in Richland County that are connected in with agriculture, the things that the county needs that are related to the agriculture and things that farmers kind of need from the systems of the county to have functional agricultural systems. So it's just kind of about how all of the different components are connected and what value ag is adding to the region. So currently in Richland County, we have a lot of land that's already in farmland preservation, so that won't change. There's just potential to add some additional land. With this kind of the land identified as sort of potential or like farmland preservation areas, we'll take the land that's already in that and then sort of set it aside. That won't change, but then look at the other areas that aren't already in and identify if there are, based on kind of set factors, including, the size of parcels, the soil types, quality, slopes, and what should be included for additional farmland preservation. And so as the Southwest Regional Planning Commission and writing the plan, our role will be to create farmland preservation plan and then farmland preservation maps for all of the towns in Richland County. And then for Rockbridge and Ithaca, which are locally zoned, we'll create town preservation maps that they can then use on town farmland preservation plans. And then for unzoned townships, that Bloom and Sullivan, we'll kind of use the plan to create the opportunity if there's interest in developing agriculture enterprise areas. And that is, agriculture enterprise areas are sort of the mechanism outside of the farmland preservation plan to create an area that's eligible for those farmland preservation tax credits. And then, as I mentioned, we'll kind of include a lot of different factors in the plan that are related in some way to agriculture, either as something that kind of benefits it or potential kind of threat or something that it might be in conflict with. So these are things like renewable energy, CAFOs, data centers, sort of tourism and water quality issues will all be things that are addressed by the plan, kind of integrated together to talk about the importance of ag. And some of the details for the tax credits themselves, in addition to land already sort of being in the farmland preservation plan, farmers are required to meet specific soil and water conservation standards, be Wisconsin residents and landowners, produce at least 6,000 last year in gross farm revenue, and not claim certain other tax credits. So just in terms of kind of our next steps, I already mentioned I'll come to the next meeting to talk about the goals that we had for the last plan. So Kathy has already gone through with some other folks in the office and looked at the 2016 plan goals and really assessed kind of where the county is at with some of those. So we'll ask you all to kind of revisit some of those, but then also think about what is most important and needed at this point in Richland County and what we can add to those goals to keep moving the overarching idea of farmland preservation forward in the region. That's most of what I've got. Any questions or comments?
So it's an ongoing process and we're, so it's, I'm glad with everything else going on, I'm glad we went with them to do it because they did the comprehensive plan and the maps are kind of, so we've gone through that process and now we're doing this. So it just kind of makes sense.
Yeah, we'll be like integrating those together. The future land use map from the comp plan will be integrated in sort of our mapping for the farmland preservation.
No questions? Okay. Anything
Yep.
else then, or should we move on?
Just move on. I think that
Okay.
was.
Move on to the violations report.
Yeah, I checked with the attorney. We've gotten response from one of the landowners on the one big one, the kind of lawsuit that we have out there right now. I was out on that site about a week and a half ago for a soil test to determine that a mound system is needed. They have the plumber sorted out, so he's making steps towards getting things into compliance there. We've also had a couple of floodplain issues with driveways. So either the highway department or the township will issue a driveway permit. And until the landowner's at a point that they need an address there, so we don't necessarily require that right away, depending on how they're using the land or what they're building on it. They can have that driveway installed before they need to come to us with anything. We've had a couple of driveways put through floodplains. So now we kind of have to backtrack, get the DNR involved, make sure that they've not done too much harm or see if things need to be undone or redone a different way to be in compliance with the DNR and our floodplain or wetland areas. So I have a letter going out to all the townships, just making them aware that, if you're doing driveways, this is something that's coming up. If there's any questions, send them to our office and we'll talk them through it. Otherwise, they can look at the layers. If they're using their GIS, they can turn on the floodplain layers and see if that's going to be affected as well.
And I talked to Josh at the highway and he said he'll make sure that they go through that, look at the maps too before it's done.
So just some education on where those areas are and how that needs to be treated. I think those are really the big violations that we have right now. Got a couple more in the works. I did actually send out a letter to a gentleman that put a couple of sheds together and is living in there. We don't have any permits for structures or sanitary there. So I just kind of have an exploratory letter saying, what are you actually doing out there? These are the steps you need to take to get things in compliance with us. So now that we've got a little bit under our feet and we're a little more comfortable with how things need to work, we can start addressing and cleaning up some of those things.
And if we have any questions, any of the three of us have any questions on what somebody wants, we kind of put our heads together and say, so they're all on the same page. Or if we find something, we let the others two know that, hey, this may be coming up.
Right, something to look for.
Yeah, because it's like we're all about a year now, three of us, but heard a little longer. So
I of course have a question.
Yeah.
What about the camper and go from? So
Is that one still down there?
the last thing I knew it was.
Okay.
The one was moved to a commercial property.
Yep, I know that one.
And the other one, the last thing I knew several weeks ago, it was still there.
Okay.
That should
Yeah, it's
hopefully
been
still
a
be on your list to
While
address.
since we've had any communication with them, so last I knew, they were still going through probate or dealing with the estate and
It just needs
Like
to
a lot.
move because it's at a corner, and I actually was even at that corner, and it's hard to see, especially when they were both there, because, you know, you have to edge quite a bit ahead to be able to see. Sometimes, you know, they're coming at normal speed, and yeah, we just don't want to have a collision there, so. All right, any other questions? Okay, so then we're on to the county conservationist.
So we, last week, Tuesday, Monday or Tuesday, was it? We sat at different places and here and took, Tuesday it was, okay, we took well samples, collected well samples for the driftless area water study. I was at Lloyd, she was at Eagle Town Hall, Corey was up at Hub City. She and Derek were here at the courthouse. We had 124 people sign up. We had 88 people that brought their samples in. So we'll find out probably sometime, get the report sometime about a month from now, month and a half from now. And then there will be a informational meeting for all of those and anybody who's interested in coming, June 25th at 5:30 at the community center. And we'll be, anybody's interested in either talking about, start talking about the results as a whole, and then what they need to look for in the reports if there's an issue they want to talk about, ask questions about. But it's open to the public, so if anybody else has questions about why they need to well test, you know, if they do well test, what they have available. We'll also have, there'll be some informational tables. There'll be a couple displays showing, you know, what happens with water. It's like a groundwater model sort of like thing with in like the karst topography, which is what we've got. It's also be some health and human services will have some information there. There'll be some information from actually, I think Ellen Tyler is going to be there with both Richland Resiliency and, you know, us doing these studies. Just some basic information where they can go to have what are some labs available if they want their well tested, you know, just why to have it tested and that sort of thing. So that'll be on June 25th at the community center at 5:30. They will also come, they'll be physically here, they may do it via Zoom. They'll come here to report to the committee on what they found prior to June meeting. They talked about doing May, and I'm like, we're gonna have some new people, and they're gonna be overwhelmed with stuff. I said, let's wait till June. And then also, I got to talk to Tricia about setting up to have they want to do a small presentation at the county board meeting in June. But you know, let the whole county board know what that was about. So Wednesday night at the still 6:30 at Still Pub and Grill in Yuba. I don't know if Anastasia will be there. Corey's going to be there. It's a meeting of the new newly formed Richland County Legacy Alliance producer-led group. You know, anybody who's maybe interested, you're welcome to come. They're, you know, the producers are leading it, telling what they want to look at, what they want to focus on, you know, just connecting producers to producers, you know, and innovative ideas. So, and then actually trying to put together information so that they can apply to be officially recognized by the state as a producer-led group. So Anastasia, Kurth, and Corey will be there to help facilitate. So if any producers that are interested, I know, you know, you're welcome to come and meet people. It's the whole county, basically, all producers in the county. So that'll be Wednesday night at 6 at Yuba. The Richland Resiliency well testing, that's where they actually physically, the university students go out and actually physically do the well testing, will be a week in late May. And they're going to take people who are on the list, who applied before, to be on it. And they're going to try to get as many wells as they can. If anybody's interested, we can give them the information. They can send requests to be on the list, but you know, they only have so many to do, they can do. So that'll be, so if you've applied for it before to have your well tested through that, it'll be in May, late May. The tree sales, we're almost done. We've got a few trees left. I don't know when we set up the date for pickup yet. We'll have,
They haven't told us yet. They were thinking maybe late April to
Yeah.
pick them up or early May.
yeah,
So,
with the late, with all the snow and
yeah.
frost and stuff, they're in, up north a little bit, so it'll take a little bit longer. But usually we have them in usually like Earth Week is when we get them, but it may be a week or two later. And then, Deb and Julie know this, we're gonna probably, hopefully in April here, we'll be scheduling a land information council meeting to start planning for the 2027 grant and figure out where we're at, steps we need to do. So that'll be coming up. We haven't set a date yet, but I need to get through because I have, the 2027 joint allocation grant is due, and the 2026 work plan is due April 15th. So I'll be finalizing those things this week, getting ready to send out. So after I get all those things in, we can I'll let an email out to all those involved in the council and we'll set something up. That's all I've got.
Any questions, Kathy? All right, so we're on to UW Extension.
All right. So just a couple things before I let Anastasia talk about the programming she's doing. Just so everybody's aware, we're now moved into the community services building, so we're all there now. So don't come up to campus to try to find us. We're now a little closer. This is just on an area-wide thing, not exactly to deal with Richland County, but I am looking for a 4-H educator in Monroe County. So if any of you guys out there know of anybody that would be a good candidate for a 4-H position, that position closes on the 19th of April, so have them reach out to me. So with that, we had a great Get Real event, and I know we're exploring to the opportunity of having a AmeriCorps worker in the office like we did last year. So we're looking at some of those things. So more details that come out with that. And with that, I will turn it over to Anastasia.
Good morning. I'm Anastasia Kurth. I'm the Extension Crops and Soils Educator here in Richland County. I'll talk a little bit about my recent programming that I've done. I'm coming off of a very busy winter season of trainings and kind of in this waiting period now before farmers are getting out in the field. I know it's a little bit soggy out there right now, so it'll be a little bit. But this winter we had a lot of great trainings, workshops in the area. First one we had was pesticide applicator training. So we had a session in February and one in March. This is for farmers and even co-op employees that are spraying restricted use pesticides. So they need to have this training every 5 years to be able to buy and safely apply these chemicals. And then the other training that we had that had a lot of Richland County participation was our manure applicator training. That was held in Sauk County, but we had a lot of folks from this part of the county, the eastern side. And our training was mainly the Cook's Transportation Company. They do a lot of the commercial for hire application and hauling of manure in this county as well as Sauk County. So that training was very hands-on. We give the participants a map and then we go through different training scenarios. So last year was the first year rolling out this active participation model rather than just PowerPoints. So last year we had like little cotton balls and pipe cleaners that they could use for equipment and pipelines and drag lines in the manure scenarios. But this year we upgraded and we got little 3D printed toys, which the participants thought that was really fun. So we had little tractors and toolbars that they could use in the scenario. So we got really good feedback on that training course that we had. We had over 30 people at the course. So that was kind of fun to do. And then most recently in March, I worked with Corey in the Land Conservation Department to do nutrient management education for farmers. So this is a course that farmers need to take every 4 years if they want to write their own nutrient management plans. So it's a goal of ours in the state of Wisconsin to have all farmers have a nutrient application plan for their farms. Not every farmer has one, but I know Natalie was just talking about the farmland preservation plan, and that is a requirement to get that tax credit is to have this nutrient management plan. So those days look like it's a full day for farmers. So they come in the morning, we do education. So myself and Landon of Extension do the teaching. And then we also have somebody from the state, so DATCAP there represented to train on the SNAP Plus program. So SNAP Plus just came out with a new version this year. It's all online. So this is kind of a big shift for our farmers that are used to the old program. So we got them up to speed on the new version, did that crucial education that they need, and we had 6 farmers come in to update plans for this year or do completely new plans. And like Kathy said, we're having a meeting on Wednesday night with the producer-led group. I'm looking forward to getting some ideas for what the producers want for field days this season. We're planning some field days and pasture walks to get farmers out and learning this year. So with that, I'll take any questions if anybody has any.
And we appreciate all the help that she's given our staff.
Thank you.
Do you have anything else?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Any questions at all for either of them? All right. We'll move on to the real property lister.
So I attended the WLIA in the Dells, which was fabulous to network with a bunch of people. I wasn't here last meeting, so that was fabulous. We got to see some ways to use the GIS map and to help with actually our transfer returns and how to stage them and what ones needed help and how to run through that. A young person had did that, brought that to us. We got to see an overview of a cemetery that they flew with a drone, and then they mapped all of the different cemetery plots in there, and some were very old, so we got to see how they did all of that. Networked a lot, got to know a lot of new people, so that's great. Got to meet with Catalyst. That's our software that we use, so that was wonderful. And now it's assessment season, so 22 of the municipalities, I have 8 of them in already, and the notices of assessments have been sent out to those townships, so those are ready to go. Hopefully there'll be a few more. We do have some reassessments, about 5 of them this year, so those will be later in the fall when they're finished with looking at all of the different properties. So hopefully before November, because if it's up to November, it kind of crunches on our taxes being sent out. So, but everything else is running fairly well, and this assessment process is always interesting. So, any questions?
Thank you. All right, so number 9, discussion and possible action, updated zoning ordinance.
We've not made any changes from what was sent out. We did, we had talked last time about, and was in the packet about the Rockbridge one, about the storage. If we want to put any language in there in the residential districts, like, or just any district, right? About outside storage, basically to prevent like massive outs, how do I want to say it? Looking like a junkyard type thing. We've had a lot of complaints, and we have really nothing that says what we can do about it. If we can, we don't have anything in there. We've,
So are you talking more about like storage units and that kind of thing that on
No.
properties, or?
it's more the, how do you want to say it?
Are you familiar with the property on Highway 80 right across from where C goes off?
Highway 80 North.
Is that the one where all the cars?
Just,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
just a bunch of old farm machinery.
Okay.
Yeah.
No,
No,
right,
but
but that's
as
what-
an example of these
and we've got
properties.
people that want us to do something and we have nothing, in the zoning ordinance that really addresses those sorts of things. That's the kind of thing we're looking at.
Okay, so it's more vehicles and instead of like storage units or sheds or anything?
No,
like
no,
that?
right.
Right.
It's outside storage, so if they have stuff in a shed, that's fine, but this is just sitting
Yeah,
out.
it could be farm equipment, just machinery.
Machinery or buses, little buses or old campers and stuff sitting around.
So this is a completely new section.
This would be, she got it, what Rockbridge has in their ordinance.
Okay.
So this is what they have up on the screen in
Correct.
Rockbridge. right?
This is their ordinance, yes.
This is in my area and 2/3 of the equipment that's there is in a floodplain. You have batteries in these vehicles, you have all kinds of oil, antifreeze, old gas. And if it were me, I mean, the people that own land around this farm, their property values drop significantly because of this. I don't see how anybody would want to buy any property or build a home. I would think it would be a health risk with rodents and whatnot, you know, and then the contamination of Pine River because it's right there. It's been an ongoing battle for a long time. This isn't something that just popped up overnight.
Yeah.
Randy, it's a battle for every level of government.
Yeah.
Yep.
To try to keep properties.
Yeah.
Looking decent.
Now, there's two sides to the coin. Obviously, the landowner, he has the right to do what he thinks he should be able to do. But the landowner is part of the community too. And we need to have something on the books to try and regulate some of this problem. And this is a big problem.
And we understand like producers do have, maybe not have enough sheds for their all their storage, all the equipment, so some of it may be stored outside. It's ones that sit there for years and years and years and don't move and.
And we're talking maybe 75 pieces of equipment.
Right.
In vehicles. Fine.
And that's just one. We've got a few around, and then we've got some places like in residential districts where they have that kind of thing too. So we're just trying to figure out if you guys want us to put language in there about it, and how. Now the next step is maybe with court counsel to figure out how to put it in, so we're not penalizing somebody who has 2 or 3 pieces out there or like a farmer produce. I'm sorry, I like keep looking at you, Carrie. Sorry, but you know, having equipment out there that they use and they just don't have room for it, you know, and they use it in the fall or the spring or summer, it doesn't matter. And then, but they're using it. That's not what we're looking at. We're looking at stuff that sits out there for 4, 5, 6 years and doesn't move, and there's weeds growing up through it, and like I said, there's
The only time you don't see it is when the weeds get up.
right. And so and we get complaints from the townships and stuff, and we have nothing in there. So that's why we kind of put that in there. We talked about it a little bit last month. If you want us to do that, we'll maybe work with corp counsel to make sure we get the wording correctly, so we're not penalize people that have legitimate.
But we need something to put in there to where we're, you know.
To address the non-official junkyards, we'll put them, no, not like an L&M, but, you know.
Yeah.
But they're licensed.
Yeah.
Right.
And regulated.
Yep.
Did you get any feedback from any of the townships? Because you said you sent information to them or requested information?
No.
Sorry, I must have misunderstood.
No,
what you said.
just that we've had townships contact us about doing things, and we have nothing.
To take care of things, yeah.
And I just sent out an email 2 days ago to the clerk of the Henrietta Township saying that it's on our plate, but it hasn't anything been done yet, but I would like to recontact her and say it's involved, and at least in motion to do something.
Our corporation council should be in on this.
Right.
So that we don't overdo.
Yeah, and we've been working with them. One of the departments have used them a lot lately with the big violations and just the ordinance thing, so we need their approval to go through the ordinance, make sure we're not overstepping.
On the other hand, do as much as we can.
Yep. The other thing that was brought up, we talked about there was a question what other counties are doing about like, extra residences on ag forest land and what they allow. And so I put in there, I had to put it's in the packet, it's in the committee packet too. I got a copy of what Iowa County, because they've been doing zoning, all their townships are zoned, and this is what theirs says. They talk about, gotta find it. Agriculture, okay. Farm residences, number 3 on the second page of this, it says, farm residences when no longer in use as farm dwelling may be rented for full-time residential throughout the reasonable and proper maintaining life of the structure. So if they've got a house there and they had, they had 2 houses on there, and now say the parents are no longer there, they can rent out that house as long as the house is habitable for the life of that, and then it's still considered a farm residence. There was just talk about, first one says, number 1 under there says farms, including usual farm buildings, structures, and a single family residence, provided all are intended and necessary for farming operations. One additional single farm residence may be allowed if it is within the existing cluster of buildings and is necessary for the farming operation. It is not allowed to as a second residence, as a guest house or other convenience, but necessary for housing family or hired employees on the farming operation. The cluster shall be within 300 feet of the promenade grouping, served by a common driveway not divided by any public road. Sounds weird. I don't know if I put the non-public road because sometimes there's 2 building sites for like a father, parents and child, and maybe a crossroads. I don't know if I'd include that part in there. Just because 6 site situations. But then later it says under conditional, a single family residence may be requested to be located outside the cluster of usual farm buildings. The intent is to provide for additional residential accommodations as necessary to maintain the viability of the farming when not practical. So things like, well, let's take Randy Schmidt down Gotham. He's got several houses for his workers, and they're not all in the same cluster, but they're parcels he had bought, and there's there's residents there. If he wants to replace those or whatever, you have to go, through the proper permitting, but they would be allowed because he needs them for their farming operation, but they may not be in the main cluster. So, but they couldn't do that and then say, I'm gonna rent it out to Julie.
Affiliated with the farming operation.
Right. So that was a couple of the things. And then something we've been just discussed, it talks about the cemetery thing. I know we've had questions about cemeteries. So that's something to think about too, but the 2 main things are the big thing was about the residential. I kind of like some other language on it. It just kind of helps us clarify that, and we can, I can send that information to, if you're okay with it, I'd send that information, include that when we do the final markup to send to Corp Council.
So today you're just looking for approval to go to Corp Council and try to get some language that would eventually be brought back.
Yeah, and then hopefully we can have it, I can have a public hearing and, go to the public hearing at the June meeting and then take it to county board in June for approval for the changes. But we want to that's 2 things we want to address, the quote unquote unofficial junkyards. And then there was question last meeting about the farm residence thing. And so, like I said, Iowa County's close and they're all zoned and they've been doing this for quite a while. So I don't know what you think about that. It kind of clarifies that whole farm residence. There was questions about that.
Any comments or questions?
I just have a question. What's the current zoning like for burial on personal property?
We have nothing.
That's what I thought.
The burial on personal property, and we have, there's really.
Vernon County has something
Yeah.
and it's very active. We talked about it at one point. We could revisit that. I can get the information from them.
Right now, we're just regulated by the state.
Mhm.
So you can have up to one body buried on your property, but more than one becomes a cemetery, and then you have to meet all the restrictions for cemetery, so it has to be platted and has to be recorded and all of that. So right now, we're just obligated to follow the state rules without having any zoning in our home.
And the other thing, I didn't look in like Iowa County, but we've had questions. There's really no, they do have something that cemeteries, actual cemeteries are allowed in the I'll call it the ag forestry area. But we have nothing in our ordinance that addresses, because we had like basswood they wanted to add on to their existing cemetery. We have nothing with language with that, so that may be something in the future we want to address, but I think right now we'll just work on these.
So then, as far as us, we don't have to vote on anything.
No, I just, well, I wanted your, what discussion is okay for us to go ahead with this. Not, no vote needed, just.
Right. Everyone good with working with court counsel and trying to get wording on those and then having that information brought back to a future meeting?
And then hopefully the next one you say, yeah, it's okay, and then June, during the petition, we can have a public hearing on that ordinance.
Yep, it sounds like everyone here is in agreement to go ahead and just make that discussion with them and bring information forward at a future time. All right, then discussion and possible action, updated short-term rental ordinance.
We've made no changes. So I guess we talked about this, this would have to have the public hearing, or we need permission to do public hearing next meeting and take it to the May county board meeting for final approval, adoption.
Yeah, so, so the short-term rental ordinance has already been voted on at this committee, as you're saying.
I want permission.
Was prior.
And then we need to go to public hearing. We have to have a public hearing, so unless there's any changes you see, have the public hearing next meeting.
That would be during this regular
Right.
meeting.
Open it up, for the petitions, reserve like a little bit of time, do that, and then approval to go to county board unless there's any changes.
Yeah, because we approved
Later.
that. Do you know what meeting that was approved at? It was quite some time ago. Long enough ago that people could review it and if they had any questions or anything. So
Right.
it sounds like it's appropriate then that we could have that public comment next month.
Yep. And then go to county board for the final in May.
For the final approval, and then at that point, then it would take effect.
Right.
And we don't need to vote on anything then?
No.
Or it's just everyone?
Well, just go ahead and do it.
If everyone's in agreement that that's what we want to go ahead and do for next month.
Okay.
Sounds like it. No opposition. You're fine with it?
Yeah,
Or
I
you
was
want to
hoping we
comment?
get it communicated to all the people, that would be interested, because there was quite a few that showed up.
Yeah, it would be obviously in our minutes. It would be on the agenda. Is there other communication that you would be doing for the
We could
public?
we could maybe let, we know of a couple, but we let, the big one would be like maybe let Marty Richards know at tourism.
What's the procedure that we should follow for public?
It just has to be published
Published in the paper, posted on the website, posted just on our agendas like we normally publish.
So when we do the next one that has the petitions, that would be on the agenda too.
So as long as it's published in the paper, is that just a section that we put in, or they put in an article?
I think it would just be included as an agenda item to have a public hearing for the ordinance.
Don't you guys do a notice of public, of
That's
a
what I was
hearing? I thought you guys did that. It's like, I published the agenda.
No, this would be, yeah, every month, 2 weeks before the meeting, she posts as,
Yeah, I put
Posts.
ours,
posts, the, like the petitions. So at the same time, we'd have it on that agenda that's posted, we post in the paper for the.
We just gotta get it out there, because last time I got a private message about it, and then I feel like responsible notifying.
Yeah, our problem is we don't know all the.
Yeah,
So, public.
our agenda goes to the website. It goes to, I have a list of people who put a request in, and also like different news, or like WRCO and the Observer have requested to get a copy of every agenda from us. If someone wants a copy of the agenda, it's on the website.
Yeah, but like, so we have, for these zoning petitions, we have to we have to publish an agenda in the paper every 2 weeks before this meeting. So it'll be in that shopping news, or not the shopping news, Observer. And then, like I said, I think maybe letting Marty know, letting Greater Tourism know, because we don't have all the connections to all those that.
Well, and if WRCO knows, will they be putting it out on that civic media? That, that's what I would be a good idea, I think, is maybe what you're talking about, is more people are gonna see that, because that's like online, and a lot of people will see their articles and that kind of thing too, so.
I can send a copy to them.
Okay.
Just let them know.
Yeah. Any other suggestions, Elaine? Or-
Well, what appears in the Observer is paid advertisement. To comply with the law.
Yep.
You have to buy a paid ad.
Yep, we do every month. We have bills every month for them. That and Board of Adjustments, so. Like I said, we can get in contact with Marty. He's maybe knows some of them that can let know, or let us know who we can.
Do you also have like a Facebook page that?
Yeah.
You posted on?
Yeah, I could do it. It's a land conservation one, but yeah.
All right, anything else as that's concerned? I guess we're on to correspondence. Any correspondence?
Have received none.
From any of you? Future agenda items.
I will put on the agenda for Natalie we got that one. The goals and objectives for the farm preservation plan. And I know we'll have to put in there for the zoning ordinance.
We'll have that under conditional use permit on there.
Yep.
Yep.
And then we'll add the short-term rental.
Anyone else? Any members, do anything to add to future agenda items? All right, just looking for a motion to adjourn the meeting. Motion by McKee, second by Hendricks. All those in favor say aye. This meeting's adjourned.
Well, it's been nice working with you too, you and Elaine.
What's that?
It's been nice working with you and Elaine.
Yes, just.
I think you guys are fun. Sure. I don't know about anybody else, but.